Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. So today I want to do a foundation review. You guys know foundation review is kind of like a series that I want to have on my channel because I love foundation, and you know, when you love something you got to do something with it. So I decided I wanted to do the Double Wear Estee Lauder foundation. This has been requested by a lot of you guys, and it's been requested on my Instagram, it's been requested on my YouTube, so I thought I would do a full tutorial on it. This foundation is so popular. If you go into Ulta, it's one of the most popular foundations. It has like 3,000 freaking reviews, 5 stars, like people swear by this foundation. So I had to really test it out. I've worn it a couple of times, and I want to say that maybe I'm not always super impressed by this, but I don't, like I always say, I don't wear my foundation all the time, and sometimes I just wear foundation to wear it because I'm on the go and I wanted to try it out. My first impressions of this was that it's really good and it's full coverage, but I wasn't able to like test it throughout the day. So that's what today it's going to be. It's going to be like a test throughout the day and see if it really is an all-day wear foundation. So let's get started. The first thing that I always do is I always prime my face. So any foundation I use, I'm always going to use a primer. So I'm going to use this Becca Perfecting Base Velvet Blurring Primer. I'm also going to do a video on all of the primers that Becca has because they obviously have a ton. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a whole review on all 3 of the primers and wear them under foundations and like do a whole test day on them. So because everyone's always asking me about Becca primers. So I'm going to do like a test on them, like how accurate they are. It's so hard to like actually test primers out because sometimes it also depends on the foundation. Ain't no harm in testing it out and like kind of informing people on which one I liked and which one I didn't like. So I do have all 3 versions of the Becca primer. So why not? Why not, you know, do a whole review on it? So I just went ahead and used a stippling brush to put on the primer. I love to put on my primer with a stippling brush because I just feel like it puts the primer on much more evenly. So why not do that? So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this bottle up. It's actually a very liquidy consistency. Pricing and all details linked to this foundation will all be in my description box. Just go ahead and click on the description box below, the link down below, and you'll get all the information. I think this is above a $40 foundation. It might be, I know it's definitely not as cheap as a MAC foundation or like a drugstore foundation, obviously. So I'm just going to go ahead and shake it because it is a liquidy foundation and I just want to shake it up. And then after I shake it up, it comes with a pump. This also, you can purchase a pump for $10 to go on top of this. I would definitely recommend purchasing a pump for this because it's liquidy and it gets really messy. Like if you can already see, I have poured so much of this foundation all over myself before. So I'm going to first try one side with a beauty blender. So like a makeup sponge. That's going to be on a makeup sponge, and I'm going to do that on one side, and then the other side I'm going to use a brush just to see how the difference, you know. I tend to like to use both, but I want to see which one I like right now. So right now with the Beauty Blender, I'm loving this foundation with the Beauty Blender. It's going on really even. Do you see the coverage? That's really good coverage. So next I'm going to use, on this side that I'm going to use a brush on, I'm going to use a corrector because a lot of times a lot of people use correctors and they feel like some of the foundations don't cover the correctors. So this is the Maybelline Red Camo Corrector. And I love this one because it actually covers stuff, and this one doesn't bleed. So yeah, you know, you just want to kind of use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use it as a corrector. And I'm just going to use it on my under eyes, and my chin area, in areas that I have hyperpigmentation. I need to do a full video on how to use red corrector. Obviously, in my opinion, a foundation brush is going to basically cover more than a beauty blender. So this is my IT Cosmetics airbrush foundation brush, and I'm just going to pour the foundation on it like that. I really wish I had a pump, but I don't. And then this is actually one of my favorite foundation brushes. So easy to use. It's almost like using a beauty blender because you can like stamp stuff on. But as you can see, the Estee Lauder covers up very well. covers up even color correcting on your face. So if you have some manchas, like I have a little mancha right here, it's gonna cover it up. I should have put some red corrector on top of that mancha, but I didn't think about it. And a lot of the times you guys want to ask me how corrector looks on one side and not on the other side. So here you go. That's for everyone who be asking that question. What's the difference? So okay, there you go. I have a full face covered in Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I feel like this color really matches me pretty well. It's a slight bit darker than my neck. Just a little bit. Under these studio lights, I tend to look a little bit lighter, but it's pretty even. It's a very good color for me. I personally love how much it covered up this side of my face, especially since I use red corrector. I often use red corrector because I do like how even it evens out my skin tone and it doesn't ever make the foundation look really ashy on certain dark spots on my face, especially in my chin area. Because you can tell the side without the red corrector, it's a little ashy and yellow. So I definitely love corrector. So right now I'm going to do a speedy first impression. So it's not heavy on my face. It's not cakey feeling. It does not make my pores look super big. Only thing that I may not like about it is that it's a little too matty on me. I have dry skin, so something being a little too matty on me might capture and grab onto my fine lines, but it's definitely not grabbing onto fine lines. So far so good. This foundation is actually working really good. The coverage is amazing. It's drying down to be pretty silky, but I'm just hoping it doesn't dry down to like a crazy matte, because it doesn't feel like a matte, but it does feel like, it does seem like it's going to dry down to be a super matte foundation. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and wear this foundation throughout the day. I'm going to come back in with some test reviews with you guys at certain hours. So I have basically had on this foundation for about an hour now, and it's looking pretty solid. Good. It doesn't even oxidize. I do feel like now that I'm in natural lighting, this color might be a little too light for me. As you can see, my skin looks so smooth. It's almost like my pores are really small with this foundation, so I'm just really amazed by it. I mean, I like it. I do have dry skin, so I feel like it did hug a little bit of my dry patches, but the dry skin is more of like my issue, not so much the foundation issue. So if you have extra dry skin, because I feel like during the winter, especially right now during the season, I have super extra dry skin. So I feel like this foundation may have been a little too drying for me. But if you have like normal dry skin, you're okay. And I think it's just right now the weather is just really dry in California. So maybe that could be an issue too. Yeah, so I've pretty much had on the foundation for almost all day. And the only thing that I can say is that the foundation tends to separate just a little bit in this area of my face. But I think that the foundation separates in that area of my face because I just have very dry skin here and it just flakes off. So any foundation I've used lately tends to do that. So it might be something I have with my skin that's going on, not necessarily the foundation. I do think it deserves to be a lot of people's holy grail. I do think it's a foundation for people with normal to combination skin. If you have dry skin and extra dry skin, this may not be a foundation that you can use during the winter where your skin is much more drier. It's probably a foundation you would use during the summer because it would be a little bit more like liquefying for you, because during the summer I find that I am a little bit more oily, so I like a little bit more matte foundations during the summer, and this definitely does not melt. If you live in a humid climate like India, Bangladesh, Thailand, Pakistan, all these humid climates, tropical areas, this is definitely a really good foundation for you because I honestly think as matte as it gets, I don't think that this will break up in a humid climate. But I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe one day I have to wear it in a humid area and then test it out for you guys. But I feel like this would really, really last for a long time in a very hot climate. So I think this is pretty good. When it comes to taking pictures, this has no flashback. No flashback whatsoever. I was very impressed with that because there are some full coverage foundation, even if they don't have SPF in it, it does have some flashback. And I've seen it and it's really bad and you're just like, where's the flashback coming from? But some foundations do. When I took pictures of this, with this, I didn't have any flashbacks. That's pretty much it with this review for Estee Lauder foundation. I do hope you guys do take the time to try out this oh so popular one of the number one selling foundations on Ulta's website, Sephora. I mean, this is a very popular foundation. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this foundation. If you guys want to see more foundation reviews, if you want to see some battle foundation reviews, I will be having a foundation battle review coming up soon. I will be having a lot of videos coming up soon, so don't forget to like, comment, and share on my videos, because you guys know that just helps my channel grow, and I really appreciate it, and I feel like we're a community. So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye!